Rainollon here. Today is yet again another build showcase, and it's the Miter Incarnon. So, let us immediately start. There are 3 builds I'm going to show you today, so let's start with the first one. The first one is the Viral setup. The mods I'm using for this setup, I'm using Vital Sense for critical damage, Given Chamber for multi-shot, Malignant Force for Toxin and Stash Chance, Prime Cryo Rounds for Cold, and Toxin gives us Viral, Hammer Shot for critical damage and Stash Chance, Rifle Elementalist for 9% status damage. This is a multiplicative damage increase for our damaging elements, and we will proc heat, so this is quite good. Gillen Zap for status chance and direct damage, and critical delay for 200% critical chance lowers your fire rate. These are the mods. For the Exos Weapon Adaptive slot mods, I will highly recommend for you to go is Vision Supplies to enhance your crits and ammo economy, or Terminal Velocity for projectile speed. This is a projectile weapon. For the Arcane, Primary Merciless is by far the best in slot for this setup, at 360 increased damage after 12 kills and reload speed. For the stats on the base form, the charge time fire rate is fine, the magazine size is good, maximum ammo and ammo for pickup is good, reload is very fast, accuracy is very high, trigger charge, 0.6 punch through, doesn't do much, doesn't do at all. Rivet Disposition is really good. Critical chance, critical damage, multi-shot is by far the best in slot, and I will remove critical delay for it. Critical chance is very good, critical damage is good, stash chance is good, and direct damage, total damage is good. This is the charge system, so you can hold it, you can charge it, you will do more damage, you will have higher critical chance, higher critical damage, high stash chance, and total damage, which is quite nice. The weapon also does transform from the base form to the Incarnon form. It has higher fire rate, it has 20 charges, which is magazine size, higher critical chance, higher critical damage, higher stash chance. Total damage is weaker, but it explodes in a 3 meter radius, and it does pretty solid amount of damage, and this is going to help you out a lot with clear. Those are the stats, the mods, the Arcane, and it's time for me to show you the second setup. For the second setup, the mods here are nearly identical except for 2. Instead of using Viral, which is Cryo Rounds and Malignant Force, I'm using Termite Rounds for heat and stash chance, and Hellfire for heat. This is a pure heat setup, so you're going to proc a bunch of heat on enemies, and it's going to help you out a lot. The base form has heat, the bouncing system has heat, the direct hits have heat. Like, you're going to generate so much heat on enemies, especially with this stash chance. So yeah, that's the heavy heat setup. This here is a flex mod, so you can replace this with a bean, with a ribbon, with whatever you want, but Termite Rounds with this isn't that bad at all in terms of DPS. So those are the mods. For the Exos Weapon Adaptive slot mods, I will still recommend Between Vision Supplies and Terminal Velocity. Merciless is here for 360 increased damage and reload speed. And stat-wise here, nearly identical except for Viral, we have a lot of heat. Heat, and heat. That's it. Those are the stats, the mods, the Arcane, and time for me to show you the final setup. For the final setup, this is a Frostbite setup. The mods I'm using here, nearly identical. Vital Sense is still here, Given Chamber is here, Given Zap, Critical Delay, Hammer Shot, and Rifle Elementalist. But instead of heat or Viral, we go for pure cold. Prime Cryo Rounds gives us cold, and Rim Rounds gives us cold and stash chance. If you have mod capacity, I will highly recommend for you to remove Rim Rounds for the Shivering Contagion to spread cold, which is going to help you with crowd control and damage, which is quite nice. These are the mods. For the Exos Weapon Adaptive slot mods, I will still recommend for you to go is Vision Supplies or Terminal Velocity for projectile speed. Instead of Merciless, we have Primary Frostbite on a cold status effect, which we do have right here. You get 3% critical damage and 2.25% multi-shot for 12 seconds, stacks up 40 times, so that's 120% critical damage and 90% multi-shot, which is quite good. That's the Arcane. For the stats, nearly identical. Instead of Viral or Heat, we have cold. But the Incarnon transformation AoE effect, which is the radius from your shots, they do explode in a 3 meter radius, and they proc blast. Why? Because the radius from the Incarnon form has heat. Heat and cold gives us blast. So this is going to proc cold on your direct hits and blast, which is going to complement blast a ton when you proc cold on enemies, spreading the cold, giving blast more critical damage, which is quite good. So that's it. Those are the stats, the mods, the Arcane, and it's time for me to show you the evolutions. For the evolutions, the first evolution is shoot enemies in the head or weak point to get the charges to transform it from the base form to the Incarnon form. How do you transform it? By pressing your alternative fire mode button, which is the middle mouse. Second evolution, increase your base damage by 77. With the channeling ability active, you get 70% fire rate, which isn't half bad at all. For the third evolution, increase your projectile speed, which complements the weapon a ton. It is a projectile weapon. And fourth evolution, increase your base critical chance by 22%. That's it. Those are the evolutions. And it's time for me to show you all these builds against the units. Alright, let's start. I'm going to spawn level 205, Steel Path, or Computer Group Dudes. This is the first setup, the viral one. Spawn these guys, no buffs or armor strip. You're going to shoot them in the head to get the charges to transform the weapon from the base form to Incarnon form. It's going to be weak at the beginning, but once you get some merciless stacks, it's going to eat these guys alive, as you can see. Everything is dead. That's the first build. The second build, this is the pure heat setup. Even without buffs, this thing is going to melt enemies really fast. But with buffs, it's just going to be much stronger. Shoot enemies in the head to get the charges. Transform. Shoot. And it's also going to generate so much heat on these guys. 113 stacks, 90 stacks, 103 stacks. It's nasty. That's the second setup. For the final setup, the Frostbite one. This one is going to generate a ton of cold stacks and blast stacks. We have a Rifle Elementalist for the multiplicative. We're going to generate a ton of blasts, so this is quite nice. This one needs like a little bit of buffs to make it like work against single target, but for clear it's going to be absolutely fine. Boom, boom, boom. There we go. That's it. Those are 3 builds, and I think it's time for me to show you against Steel Path enemies, and I'm going to use the heat setup. So let's go. And we are in. I'm up against the Kurganir at the Kua Fortress. This is survival, Steel Path of course. The map's called Tawani. I'm going to show you this build here. This is the pure heat setup, so I'm definitely going to utilize like something like Nourish, or maybe you use Nourish or a companion to proc viral for you, or ability to proc viral for you, or something, you know. It's one of those builds that just needs a little bit of help, just a little bit, and it's going to clear really well. But this is also without any buffs, and it's like doing absolutely fine. I will use it sooner or later just to make the clear nicer for me and for you guys. Nourish is something that everybody can use, and it's a quite good helmet ability, especially on a buffered Warframes, giving you free viral. It's just quite nice. These guys don't really like heat. Shoot enemies, transform, shoot. You lose your transformation, shoot it in the head, there we go, transform. Hold left click again. You're just going to see numbers. A lot of people compare this thing to what do you call it? The Torrid Incarnon. Yes, it is like a Torrid Incarnon. They both have chaining. Torrid Incarnon is much better than this by a lot, but this thing isn't that bad at all. The problem I have with this weapon is the magazine size should be much higher. 20 is kind of low. Should be like at least, no joke, 80. With 80, it will be much better. 20 is just way too small. I don't understand why do they put a lot of maximum ammo on some weapons, but some of them have like really small. Just makes no sense to me. It's clearing really well. Alright, now I'm going to use Nourish. A little bit of Nourish. Now I'm going to proc Viral and Heat. And the clear is just going to be nicer. So my initial hits are going to do a lot of damage. And once you proc Heat on enemies and Viral, Viral is going to help Heat to do even more damage. That Maximus enemy died in 2 shots. The reason why I'm not using Galvanized Scope, the chaining from the Incarnon form homes immediately to their bodies, so you can't really properly headshot to maintain Galvanized Scope. You technically can do that by using like the base form and you like headshot them and kill them a couple of times, then transform and stuff like that. You can do that. But efficiency wise, it's kind of annoying. I did try to jam somewhere Firestorm, but it only gives it like 1.3 meters, which is nothing. I think it's a dead mod. All my testing, even without testing, 1.3 meters doesn't really help much. For a whole mod, you lose a ton of damage for a very non-existent quality of life. Oh, there we go. Alright, let's see against the Acolyte. I'm going to get my transformation charges. There we go. Press this, shoot the Acolyte, and he nearly died in one hit. There we go. That's the Acolyte. I think it's time for me to leave, and I'll be right back. And there you go. That's the Miter Incarnon, and it's still very good. Everything about it is absolutely nice. I just wish the magazine size on the Incarnon form was bigger. That's it. Overall, the weapon is pretty solid. I'll highly recommend the weapon and the builds. I hope you enjoy the builds. Thank you yet again everybody for watching. Leave a like, sub, and of course, see you all next time. Thank you. Goodbye.